All right, come on in, folks. Greetings and salutations to everybody out there in listening land. Tough form coming back at you one more again. So, folks, a pleasant good night to everybody out there. We're 6 months into the year of 2022, rounding off the sixth month and on the cusp of going into the seventh month. How time flies. It's been a while, folks, so just want to just say what's up to everybody out there, all those who are rocking with me still. And I'm still on it. Though you haven't seen me in a couple weeks, just had a little time to spend with my family. Had all my children in one area and in my home after so long of not having them. My daughter being out of the country and my son living in another province. Just my other son that's in the same city as me, but we all had him here, and my grandchildren with the exception of one. So it was a grand time. Just time to just reconnect and just do some bonding and catching up. But of course, the world keeps spinning, and of course, men are still dying. And at this point, even in the time off, you can't run from it. You see everything happening on TV, on news, even in the world around you. And here we have the continuing conversation that men are dying. And to be honest with you, folks, instead of this episode of me just reading off or going about all the daily happenings, of course, it's still the Wednesday Wha Gwaan, the midweek catch up. And we have a lot of catching up to do. The last couple segments, we've been dealing with carjackings, we've been dealing with mass shootings, and just random violence on a whole, and committed by a lot of male factor. So just off the top of my head, I can recount or recall in the last few days where we finally heard something other than a man committing these things, but we heard of a woman. I believe it was a 37-year-old woman that was apprehended after attempting to carjack somebody and assault the person with a weapon. This was interesting because we've always been hearing of male suspects doing these things, and finally here we have a woman. And one of the good things I can say about what's been happening with the rash of shootings, killings, the stabbings, etc., is that the police have at least managed to solve or bring to a close or bring to justice those people who perpetrated those things. So kudos to those police officers doing their work out there. I'm not going to advocate for or against, because I've had my share of issues with police officers, but when they're doing their job and taking these elements off the streets, you got to give credit to where credit's due. So, kudos to the police officers for doing their job. In the last couple of weeks, folks, like I said, things haven't really got any better, but it makes me wonder as I'm going through this process of doing these videos, of putting the information out there. Am I really am I really tackling anything? Is anything really happening in terms of change, and how can I be more of a factor in this fight against men killing men, in this factor in this fight against people killing people. As I watch the news, I'm glad to see that there's other community leaders that are doing the fight, doing the street level fight. So I gotta give shout out to those people. You know, there's a guy um goes, I think his name is Marcel, um heads up the one by one movement. I gotta give a shout out to them because I constantly see him and his organization in the streets and you know at the ground level. So he's not only talking about it, but he's actually getting to places where can people of influence can help in the community effort. And folks, trust me, I really feel the need that I gotta get my little 2 cents in there because every little bit helps. And whatever I can do to help, I'm just saying that here I am. Um, Definitely going to be doing some research in the next little while. You know, as much as I feel I'm doing something here, I feel like I need to do a little bit more still. I need to reach, you know, and get involved. And I really pray and hope that there's more people out there that are seeing the need to save the youth, to try to curb um, this pandemic that we have with kids killing each other and killing people and just the violent acts. I know. I think one of my episodes I ended it with last time, I just came to the realization or belief that it's got to be some form of demonic possession happening with these things. I mean, evil is evil, and you got to call evil. So, you know, I say that chuckling in a a dejected kind of way, but really and truly, this is facts that there is definitely an element of evil at play here. So we can't deny that or just tiptoe around it. However, there is some accountability also by these perpetrators that needs to be taken into account. It just needs to be put out there that some of these acts are just really ridiculous. Some of these acts that are happening out there are selfish. They're not fully thought out, and even when they are premeditated and thought out, it's to the detriment of the victims, and it's to the detriment of those who are innocent bystanders. It's the detriment to the society at large. So we want to see if we can impose, you know, positivity on these people, show them a different way, because maybe they're just glued to the TV, glued to the things that they see on the movie screen, and therefore playing it out in real life. So tonight, I'm just really just having a conversation, just putting out there that, man, this work is not an easy work, and I don't want you to believe that I'm by any means discouraged to stop what I'm doing, but I just feel the need that I need to do some more too. So in the coming weeks, months, days, years, with the help of God, I believe that I will be trying to talk to and connecting with people who, you know, can point me in those directions and help me get into areas where I can tap in. You know, over the time that my family was here, I had the opportunity to speak with some young people, um, and just try to get into their brains and see, you know, what they're seeing. I've heard so many different arguments that we've touched on this on Tough Form about music influences and you know, public figures who are in the limelight, who seem to be um, influential in what they show in terms of the glamour, the glitter, you know, the fame and the fortune. And some of these young folks that are out there doing these um, crimes, committing these crimes, it's really out for that. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I heard something very profound today as I was listening to a radio program, and it's a Christian radio program, and the speaker said that he was taught about four S's, which is usually the downfall for any man. And I thought I'd just put it on here tonight as I'm just talking freestyle tonight. You know, what the four S's that he brought out was silver, sloth, sex, and self. And I guess it was the best way for him to remember with the S's: silver, sloth, sex, and self. And if I was to break that down, when we look on silver, that just speaks to me of riches, money, which is definitely a major impact, a major influence in why some people it leads to their demise. You know, as the Bible says, the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money, but the love of money. And when you love something that much, or you will commit evil. So a lot of the things that we see happening in the world, where violence is concerned amongst our people, amongst young youths, it's probably motivated because of that silver, that money, the love thereof. And I talk about sloth, you know, that just shows laziness. And when you're slow and lazy, you know, you don't want to do hard work. So that can lead to the downfall of what we're seeing with these young men too. When we speak about sex, you heard it before: sex sells. Sex is something that I believe speaks to the gratification of someone, you know, and the feelings of things that come about through sex. Sex is very influential because you get in it, or you're having it, you have this pleasure, the feeling of pleasure, you have the satisfaction, and getting that constantly, etc. I'm sure is something that drives one, whether male or female. But also another saying I hear: too much of one thing becomes good for nothing. So even there, you overindulge there, there's a downfall. And sometimes sex, or you know, the sex um, symbols that are out there, when young men or any other person is trying to achieve that, or have that peace, have that sexual figure on their side, on their arm, or knowing that they have that person beside them, that is very influential, and they'll do things to maintain and keep that. So that was one. And of course, self, that just speaks self-explanatory, that when you're selfish, you're not thinking about anybody else but yourself. So there's a lot that has been going on within our communities in the last couple of weeks. In the time I've been off, I heard about a young gentleman that's the age of one of my sons, 29, and you know, sad that even when his face was plastered on the TV screen, that he was wanted for killing a woman. My kids said, "Dad, I know this person," and you know, kudos to the police because they picked him up also, because you know what he done was senseless. It was wrong, and acted off of emotion or whatever, but he took the life of somebody that he was intimate with. So this is someone that he shared, you know, shared something with, of the sexual nature, and was an intimate partner. And for whatever reason, you decided to kill this person, take away their life. So another woman dying at the hands of a man. This person is now in custody. So we have a woman that's lost her life, family that's lost a loved one, and here the system has this man in prison and going through the system, and another life ruined there. Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm not even gonna bother go through the recap. There's been so much thing that's happened in the last 2 3 weeks. But I'm here on the tough form tonight on the Wednesday Wha Gwaan, just to let you know that we gotta look deeper within now. We gotta see this ain't gonna be the last time you hear me talk about someone dying through the hands of someone who violent. Um, we've had some monumental things happening um, down south in the states where we've seen gun laws are trying to be changed to address the violence, but the Second Amendment is seems to be trumping the lives of those who are dying at the hands of guns or dying at the through the mechanism of the gun. Um, Not even a touch on the abortion issue, but that's been something that's been plaguing now or rising up because women are making the stance. There, I've heard someone say, some of these killings that they're seeing and some of these crimes they're seeing these young people are committing, probably they should have, and I'm just paraphrasing what he was saying, that they should have been aborted. Anyway, whatever side you stand on, we're still talking about lives here. We're still talking about people dying and men continue to die. My thing is, what are we doing or what are we going to do or how are we going to tackle this big elephant? Hmm. In my time off, I heard some powerful quotes. I heard one from Martin Luther King, who said that, you know, you have to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. Hope I didn't butcher that too much. But in essence, what he's saying is that that mountain of despair is so massive. But you and I, as individuals, if we just keep on chipping away at that mountain of despair, we will eventually even get, even if it's a stone or a rock out of that mountain, there's hope that will come from that. And I'm going to just leave it on that, that I still holding out for hope, that there's hope that we can reach these young men, old men, men that are going astray, men that are committing these crimes, that wherever, whatever area we can reach them so that there can become a turnaround. Wherever these guns are coming in from, and the adults that are in organized crime that are filtering these guns to young people because they don't have the wherewithal to get this. Uh, I mean, 14, 15, 16, come on. I don't, you don't have these kind of connections to just, someone, oh man, let me rephrase that because connections can be made. What I'm saying is that some of these areas where people are getting access to these things it's just that they have the access, but to pull off, getting it through borders and getting it through the hands and getting from manufacturers or getting it from wherever, that's a whole organized process that I don't believe a 16, 15, 14 and so on can just process in the little time that they've been here. This is something that's coming from above. It's coming from um, grown individuals that have been on this earth for more than a decade and a bit, right? You understand what I'm saying, people? There's people out here who are inoculating these young people and steering them down the wrong way, all because of one of those S's that I brought up earlier on, and that is silver, that money, greed, and the love of that money Folks, we gotta teach our youth how to work hard and what it means to work hard. We have to teach them a new form of a different form of gratification. Sorry, not just one that is sexual, but one that says, I've worked and I've earned what I have. I did not go out and steal it. I did not kill for it, but I put some thought into what I'm doing and I work for this. This is a different Wednesday Wha Gwaan because I believe there's a change coming in terms of how I'm gonna go about trying to chip off this mountain. And sometimes when I'm talking to you, I'm just talking straight from the heart because the mountain of despair is really big. And with what I see happening in the world, it's just, I heard somebody say the other day that in all his years, and this person who I was speaking with is in his 70s, and he said in all his time on earth, this is the darkest he's ever seen it. And I just a year shy of 50. God has kept me this long, thank God. And the time I've been on this earth, I can honestly say too that we're living in some different times, some perilous times. And while it's disheartening, while it's disappointing, what I will say is that this is something that I can say that it's unexpected. I read the Bible and the Bible speaks of this thing. So it says not to marvel, it says marvel not. But when you see these things, you got to look up for the redemption of our people. Our redemption draws nigh. That simply means that God is seeing what's happening, and the time is coming, the time is imminent where, you know, what we can't do for ourselves, God will do. Okay, folks. So this is the 6th month. We're at the halfway point. In a couple days, 2 days or so, we're into a new month. And going forward, just look out for what I'm going to be putting out. Look at the content. And I'm looking for people that are, serious about this movement, serious about doing something. If you want to hook up with me and you probably have the channels, you got the drive, you got the passion to win back our men, by all means, then I partner with me. Come talk to me. Get at me, man. But let's do it together and chip off at this mountain of despair. Well, you know what? I want y'all to just still stay vigilant out there. I want you to be aware of your surroundings. I want you to be hopeful. I want you to not be weary in the well that you're doing, the goodness that you're doing. Be not weary, as the Bible says. I'm a man of God and I have no apology, speaking from the Bible. But for the Wednesday Wha Gwaan today, I just want y'all to just, think and dig deep and let's chip off this mountain of despair. Until next week, we catch up again for the midweek catch up. Want good. Keep the faith and keep fighting. We can do this together, all right? All right, peace and one love until we connect next week or next time on the Wednesday Wha Gwaan. I'm Drew, signing off for the tough form. Peace and one love.